Welcome to the NTN Nightly. I'm Lucia Charles. This edition's top stories. Government continues with its multifaceted approach to transform the education sector. St. Vincent and the Grenadines installed as part of the United Nations Security Council, and the Ministry of Agriculture places focus on the green economy. The government of St. Lucia remains committed to addressing the needs of the education system in 2020. Since assuming office in 2016, the Alan Chastanet-led administration has been taking a multifaceted approach to addressing the ills which plague the aging infrastructure, outdated curriculums, and the lack of innovation. Prime Minister Honorable Alan Chastanet outlined some of the projects which have already taken flight, as well as those to come on stream beginning this month.
To date, we've already spent $25 million to address deteriorating school infrastructure. We've finally put doors on some classrooms where they never existed, repaired leaking roofs, fixed hazardous electrical and plumbing problems which had been festering for decades. The list goes on, but we will get it done, as we've allocated another $10 million for school repairs in 2020-2021. This month, we begin construction work on 3 primary schools under the Education Quality Improvement Program, EQUIP. These schools are La Guerre Combined, Gordon Walcott Memorial Methodist, and the Vide Bouteille Primary.
In an effort to modernize and bring innovation into schools, computer coding and robotics are being taught. Another exciting venture will be the introduction of e-books as a pilot project for Form 3s.
The new program will be supported by downloadable lessons, infographics, and internet links. This will significantly reduce the cost of books for parents. We wish to say a special thanks to the Republic of China Taiwan for their commitment towards ICT and the education over the next 3-year period. We're grateful to our diplomatic partners who continue and in some cases have increased scholarships for solutions to study abroad. These opportunities are even more accessible if we as solutions become multilingual. We're excited about the appointment of a new principal at the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, Dr. Keith Nurse, who is recognized as one of the experts on creative and orange economy. And we're looking forward to diversifying the programs offered at Sir Arthur Lewis College, which will include converting Radio St. Lucia into a recording studio to enhance St. Lucia's expertise in the field of broadcasting and music production.
And that was Honorable Prime Minister Alan Chastanet delivering his New Year's address. Join us at 8 p.m. this evening as we speak to the Honorable Prime Minister on matters of health and tourism as part of the GIS's Year in Review for 2019. St. Vincent and the Grenadines has formally been installed at the United Nations Security Council. Permanent Representative Her Excellency Rhonda King planted the flag of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. More now, courtesy CARICOM News Time.
Today, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, a small island developing state, a mere 40 years after reclaiming its independence from colonial powers, will take up its seat for the first time as an elected member of the Security Council. This day is a historic one, not only because we are the smallest nation ever to sit on the Security Council, but also perhaps because the urgency of now calls for fresh, disinterested, and impartial perspectives on the seemingly intractable problems of our day. St. Vincent and the Grenadines has no geopolitical axe to grind. We are just a young nation that yearns for a better world. We come to the task with a team that largely comprises young, well-educated, enthusiastic, and creative thinkers. Our permanent representative is female, yours truly, and I am supported by 2 female deputy permanent representatives, a female political coordinator, a female alt political coordinator, and a female legal advisor. Indeed, we are a team that is 2/3 female. that too is probably historic. But above all, we are a Caribbean people. According to the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. the Honorable Ralph E. Gonsalves, we, metaphorically speaking, comprise the songs of Caribs, our indigenous people, the rhythm of Africa, the chords of Asia, the melody of Europe, and the lyrics of the Caribbean itself. With this uniquely blended psyche, we go forth with the audacity and the hope of making a small contribution toward the creation of transformative, resilient new realities. I take this opportunity to thank the member states of the United Nations General Assembly for placing their trust in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We will endeavor every day for the next 2 years to maintain that trust by discharging our duties and responsibility with integrity, steadfast adherence to the rule of law, the values and principles enshrined in the United Nations Charter.
The Ministry of Agriculture is educating the public on the green economy. An inclusive green economy is one that improves human well-being and builds social equity while reducing environmental risks and scarcities. For the Forestry Department of the Ministry of Agriculture, their focus has been on sustainable development. Forest Officer Carl Augustine spoke on the work that the department has been doing to promote this green economy.
We've been working on protecting our waterways and protecting our soil resources upon which our economy is based. And we have also been good at engaging with community groups and NGOs and engaging with youth and so on. What we have started to focus more on is how can we also satisfy the economics of it. So we've been promoting agroforestry as a means to say, can we climate-proof our food production systems? Can we have below forest canopy production? So that now when we tell somebody, hey, you should keep your land forested, they don't think, hey, keeping your land under forest means I'm unable to make any money or generate any economic activity from managing that land in a sustainable way.
Augustine spoke to some of the projects that have been in keeping with the green economy.
Under the Iron project, we've been doing just recently a farmers engagement where we are telling farmers, hey, can we help you establish things like windbreaks? Can we actually help you to establish the forests on the waterways? Can we help you to put tree barriers between you and your neighbor, neighbor and farmer? But what we have done now is instead of saying now we're going to just use any type of species, any type of trees.
Like you used to use before.
Well, we used to use before, where we used to come under
forest trees.
Mainly forest species, timber species.
Correct.
Right now we have actually changed our species selection to favor fruit-bearing as well as economic crops, right? So we're saying that promotes the whole idea of, but you get the ecological services, the carbon sequestration, the protection of the soil, the protection of the water, but you also now getting additional benefits, the economic benefits of you have a product that you can sell, or you have a product that you can consume in your farm.
He says that ecotourism is also an example of how the green economy can function well.
You have an entity where your exploitation is not extractive, so you are not destroying or damaging anything. You are bringing in people to enjoy the whole
the scenery
and so on, the whole serenity of the forest and so on. And what you are also doing is, if you do that with people from the adjacent community, providing the services of the tour guiding, the trail management and so on, it means that they're earning a living. You are in the community. You're not being biased in your selection in terms of saying, well, you're predominantly looking at high-end males or predominantly females or whatever. You have some equity in gender. You also have some equity recognizing that, hey, you cannot have certain activities running at any time of the day because these people have families and so on.
And that was Carl Augustine speaking on the program Agriculture on the Move. And this is the NTN Nightly. We'll be back in a moment.
The effective management of the marine resources depends heavily on compliance. To ensure that these resources continue to thrive and provide the best local seafood, fishers, vendors, and consumers must be aware of the fishery seasons. Here is the season chart for lobster. Adhere to the schedule. Help maintain a thriving fishing industry for all of us. This has been a message from the Department of Fisheries.
Welcome back. The Embassy of Japan and the St. Lucia Solid Waste Management Authority are teaming up to take better care of the environment. The two signed a grant contract and memorandum of understanding. The agreement makes allowance for a grant of $80,041 for the supply of 3 used refuse collection vehicles for use in cash trees and was made possible under the grant assistance for grassroots human security projects administered by the Government of Japan. Ambassador of Japan to St. Lucia, His Excellency Tatsuo Hirayama, stated that the grant will empower residents with environmental management-related skills and techniques for better care of the environment.
With the arrival of the 3 garbage collection trucks, I hope custodians would optimize the use of these vehicles, not just for collecting garbage, but also for raising awareness of proper waste management and promoting recycling, reducing, reusing, and recycling waste. This is the way we can keep our city cleaner and more attractive to visitors, and we can minimize waste management problems. If we can succeed for at least move in that direction, our investment in this project will be well worth it.
The support received from the Embassy of Japan will facilitate a collaboration between the St. Lucia Solid Waste Management Authority and communities of cash trees for the implementation of a sustainable and better structured solid waste management program within cash trees. Minister for Education, Innovation, Gender Relations and Sustainable Development, Honorable Dr. Gil Rigobert, expressed gratitude to the Government of Japan for its continued assistance and contribution towards solid waste management on the island.
Every positive step that we can make will redound to the benefit of the citizens, will do more to enhance our own public health state, and also to ensure that we begin to recalibrate the thinking of our citizens as it pertains to waste. Trash is the new cash. We hear of the benefits to be had from embracing that which can take place within the context of a circular economy. We've seen it at play in Japan, and we desperately want to emulate that.
Honorable Sarah Flood Bober, Minister with Responsibility for External Affairs, commended the Solid Waste Management Authority on their continuous efforts at ensuring a cleaner and safer St. Lucia.
We turned to solid waste fully and said, look here, we're getting 3 trucks. We only asked for 1. How can you help us with that? And that was when solid waste, we turned over to solid waste. They made the application, of course, with the blessing of the minister. And here we are today, that this is coming to pass, where we're getting those trucks. There's going to be training and there's going to be great collaboration, not just to deal with the garbage, but to deal with the environment, to deal with health, and to deal with safe and happy communities.
The signing of the Memorandum of Understanding, the MOU, and grant contract between the Government of Japan and the St. Lucia Solid Waste Management Authority took place on Thursday, January 16, 2020. And this is the NTN Nightly. We'll be right back.
Here at St. Lucia Distillers, we produce an award-winning range of rums and rum products. We export our rums to the Caribbean, North America, and Europe. Standards facilitate our entry into overseas markets. In the rum business, it is critical that our distillers and blenders get it right. St. Lucia Distillers is HACCP certified. We use 2 standards from SLBS, the Standard for Labeling of Prepackaged Foods, SLNS 1-3 2014, and the National Specification for Rum, SLNS 12 2003. We are also a registered member of the West Indies Rum and Spirit Producers Association, WISPA. SLBS ensures that we are up to standard and world class.
This message is brought to you by the Commonwealth Standards Network.
Welcome back. And here's a look now at what's happening to us weather-wise. Partly cloudy skies becoming cloudy at times with some scattered showers mainly around the Leeward and northern Windward Islands. The Atlantic hurricane pressure system will continue to generate moderate to brisk easterly winds and rough seas around the eastern Caribbean during the next couple of days. Moisture and instability associated with the frontal trough and shear line will cause occasional cloudiness and showers over the eastern Caribbean islands during the next 24 hours. The tide for Castries Harbour was high at 1:03 p.m. and will be low at 8:04 p.m. The tides for Vieux-Fort Bay was high at 2:10 p.m. and will be low at 9:31 p.m. The seas moderate to locally rough with waves and northerly swells 5 to 10 feet or 1.5 to 3.0 meters. Small craft operators and sea bathers, especially to the north and east of the island, are advised to exercise extreme caution due to brisk winds and rough seas. The sun will rise Wednesday at 6:32 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the NTN Nightly. Join us next time at 7 p.m. with a repeat at 7 a.m. You can also catch up with us anytime on the St. Lucia Government Facebook page or YouTube channel. I'm Nisha Charles.